welcome back. I am so glad that you're continuing to read the book of Jeremiah with us. Today we have a really dense reading. We're going to start in chapter 23, verse 9, and we're going to read all the way through the end of chapter 25. In these chapters, I think it really helps to know where we are in the timeline, because Jeremiah doesn't really care about the timeline, the sequence of events as they actually happened. The book just assumes that you know the timeline. And so when it says in the 4th year of Jehoiakim or the 2nd year of Zedekiah, it just assumes you know. But I don't know that. And I have to go back and look it up. But I think that here it's going to be really helpful. The city of Jerusalem falls 2 times. The first time it falls, it's an independent, sovereign city, and the skilled people and the nobility, they're all carted off into exile. The second time the city falls, it's a vassal of Babylon that's rebelled, and the empire comes and crushes it. Now, what we see in chapters 23 and 24 today, where right after the first fall, there are some prophets who are left in Jerusalem, and they are claiming that because the city technically survived, this is a sign of God's favor, that God will never abandon us, and that the people who have gone off into exile, really, they got their just deserts. They're being punished for their sin, and we're the good guys. And God is committed to us. He wasn't committed to them, but He's committed to us. In chapter 24, Jeremiah flips that script. He has a vision of 2 baskets of fruit, of figs. One of them is really good, and one of them is really bad. And he says that the fruit that's really good, this is a symbol of the people who are off in exile, because they're ripe. They have a future and a hope. But the basket of bad fruit, that's the people who are still in Jerusalem, because they have no future. The city is going to be destroyed. And then in chapter 25, we all of a sudden go back in time, 8 years, before the city fell at all. Jeremiah confronts the wicked king Jehoiakim, and he tells him that because Jehoiakim refuses to receive the word of the Lord, he is going to be punished. The city is going to fall, and the people will be in exile for 70 years, which is a very important number, both for Ezra and the book of Nehemiah and in the book of Daniel. It's also, I think, gets picked up in Revelation. And then God sends Jeremiah on this tour of all the surrounding empires, or they're not empires, but these little sovereign towns around Jerusalem. He goes to the various kings and has them drink a cup of wine. And this cup symbolizes the judgment that's coming, the wrath of God that's coming, because they are all in the warpath of Babylon. I think this is the passage that Jesus has in mind on the night that He's betrayed, when He prays, "Let this cup pass from me." He doesn't want to drink this cup of God's wrath. But He does. Jesus surrenders Himself. He submits Himself to the judgment that comes on all human systems and kingdoms that resist the will of God. So today, Jeremiah 23, verse 9 through the end of 25. I'll see you guys tomorrow.